This is problem number 4 from the Chapter 8 closure problems. Graph y equals x squared minus 2x. Identify the roots, y-intercept, x-intercepts, and vertex. Okay, so for the roots and the x-intercepts are the same thing. So let's start out for x squared minus 2x. Let's do a generic rectangle and a diamond. So in order to factor it. Okay, so we'll put x squared in the bottom left. We put our units in the top right. We have x's, we don't have any units, so we're going to put 0 there. Alright, do our generic, or our diamond. If we multiply these two things together, we get 0x squared. We need to put our units, our x's in the bottom, so negative 2x. So since they multiply to 0, we know that one of the sides has to be 0x. And so something times 0 always gives us 0. Then it has to add to negative 2. So 0 plus negative 2x is just going to give us negative 2x. So we'll put those things in our generic rectangle. Okay, we'll start out with this row. So these both have an x in common. We'll put an x outside there. X times x is x squared. X times negative 2, negative 2x. And we don't really need this 0 up here, but we'll go ahead and put it there. Okay, so for our x-intercepts, our y is equal to 0. So we can say 0 equals x. I'm not going to put that plus 0. We don't really need that. So x times x minus 2. The next thing we need to do for the 0 product property is set each one of these equal to 0. So we have x equals 0, x minus 2 equals 0. Solve for this x, so add 2 on both sides, and we get x equals 2. So our x-intercepts, we have 0, 0, and 2, 0. We'll go ahead and graph those, 0, 0, 2, 0. Okay, the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is when x equals 0. So into my original equation, I'm going to plug in 0 for my x's. So I'm going to say y equals 0 squared minus 2 times 0. So we get 0 minus 0, which is just 0. So our y-intercept is 0, 0. We've already graphed that. Okay, for our vertex, we have to find what is in the middle of our x-intercepts. So what is in the middle of 0 and 2? Just a 1. A different way to find that is you could add your x-intercepts together, so 2 plus 0, and divide it by 2. So that's like splitting it in half. So we have 2 divided by 2, which is 1. So that's our x-coordinate. So it's somewhere along this line here. We're just not sure where. So we're going to plug 1 back into our original equation for x. So we have y equals 1 squared minus 2 times 1. 1 squared is just 1, and minus 2. 1 minus 2 is negative 1. So our vertex is going to be 1, negative 1, and we can graph that. So we have our 3 points. We can go ahead and connect these, and make sure you put arrows on the end, and we have a parabola.